everyone, my name is Kaylee and I work for Tully Consulting Group. So I'm here to answer a question that we get asked very often. What do we do here at Tully Consulting Group? Well, hopefully I can help you answer that. So we are a civil engineering and stormwater management firm. Back in 2005, Robin Tully founded the company, so we're woman-owned, which is pretty great. And she primarily started the company up as a civil engineering firm. And she was pumping out grading and drainage plans, helping design bioretention facilities, designing roadways, etc. But now, with the release of these new construction permits for stormwater management, we have shifted gears over into the stormwater management firm. So this is our 15th year open, and we have about 30 people who work for us, and we primarily perform stormwater inspections and help write all the plans that correspond with stormwater management. We have quite a wide variety of projects that we're involved with. We work on Caltrans sites. We work on various private sites. We work with counties and cities. So we are very knowledgeable in a wide range of construction sites, and we can cater our recommendations specific to what kind of site that you have. So why is this stormwater management thing such a big deal? So what happens is when it rains, here's my rain cloud. In a perfect world, the stormwater runs over all of these surfaces, it collects and conveys, and it starts to concentrate and form little streams and flow downstream into our water bodies. But in reality, we know that things are not so clean, and so stormwater has this huge potential to pick up these pollutants and carry them downstream. So for example, on construction sites, which is mainly where we work, we see a lot of things like sediment, which is the #1 source of stormwater pollution. We see things like concrete waste, which can increase the pH of your stormwater and water as it leaves the site. We see things like other chemicals, battery acids, paint, miscellaneous chemicals. We see oil and grease, leaking equipment, somebody backed into a fuel container. All kinds of potential chemicals that are exposed while you're doing construction. And so when it rains, and if this site doesn't have adequate protection measures, the stormwater, it cleans off the site, that's for sure, but it takes all of these chemicals and moves them downstream and concentrates these chemicals downstream in our water bodies, which can be very toxic for our wildlife, not good for our own water quality, makes the water much more difficult to treat and to clean, and it can also impact and impound our water bodies by making them shallower, and we have to go and dredge them out, which can be very expensive. So there are various consequences when we improperly manage our stormwater runoff. So runoff is any stormwater that enters your site, concentrates and collects, and leaves the site. So if your site doesn't allow that water to soak back up into the ground, it creates runoff, and that runoff has the potential to carry all those pollutants that are exposed on your site and to bring them downstream, which, while it's not good for our wildlife, it's also potential for you to get fined thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending on what kind of violation it is. Where do we come into play with all this stormwater management? So what happens is an owner wants to build out their land. So they hire out a contractor to build their land for them, along with various engineers and other kinds of people that help design the site. If the site is disturbing soil, they're more than likely going to have somebody like us or someone with our same certifications to make sure that they're following the federal and the state stormwater management regulations. In California, your site needs to obtain the California Construction General Permit. We follow the Construction General Permit's recommendations and turn this into a plan that is specific for that project site. So in that, we detail when they need to do inspections, how they're going to perform inspections, what kind of best management practices or BMPs they're going to need, and just outline any details that we want them to know in this plan. depending on what kind of site you have, you'll either need the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan if your site is over an acre, or the Water Pollution Control Plan, which is usually something that's locally ordered for that construction site. Typically, the SWIP or the WPCP, they're going to outline who the Water Pollution Control Manager is, so the person who's going to be completely implementing this plan, who the qualified SWIP practitioner is, that's another person who can help implement this plan, and then who the stormwater inspector is, also who is the qualified SWIP developer or the QSD. We have all of these certifications at our office. Once the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan or Water Pollution Control Plan gets reviewed and submitted and approved, we then begin our inspection services. Ideally, our inspections start right before construction starts so we can really get a good idea of what impacts the construction is going to have based on the pre-existing conditions of the site. We are required to provide weekly stormwater inspections, where our inspectors will go out to the site, they will walk the entire site, take pictures along the way, talk with the people on site, talk with the contractors on site, to get involved and know what's going on and see what's happening. We make specific recommendations to that contractor after walking the site, understanding what's going on, to make sure that they're following the stormwater management regulations. That is our weekly inspection. We also perform the pre, during, and post-storm inspection. On the required sites, we also do the necessary sampling of pH and turbidity or other parameters that are needed to just double check that your site isn't releasing any pollutants or contaminants into the water bodies that are downstream of your site. So what are we looking at when we're on site? When we're on site, we're looking for things like uncovered stockpiles, which when it rains, it could take that stockpile and move those materials downstream. So depending on what you're stockpiling, it either has a high potential to be a pollutant or a lower potential to be a pollutant. We're looking to make sure that portable toilets are properly secured and that they're in secondary containment so that when they're being serviced, the fluids and the juices that are being cleaned out of the portable toilets are not going into our water bodies downstream. Pretty gross, but very important. We're also checking to see if there's any leaks or spills on site. We're checking leaking equipment, asking them, hey, can you put a drip pan underneath this vehicle until you can get it maintenanced? Can you make sure you clean up the spill so that it doesn't pollute our waterways or pollute our groundwater? We're looking for things like where we need to implement erosion control, where we need to cover disturbed soil, various things like that. It takes a trained eye to really know what every single individual site will need, depending on what phase of construction it's in and depending on what the weather looks like. There's a lot of factors coming into play, so that's why hiring a professional is very important. So after we walk the site and we gather our recommendations, it's really important for us that we go and communicate with contractors or the project managers on site to make sure that we discuss solutions and that we work together to make sure that the site is complying. Once we communicate with the contractor, we come back into the office and we write up detailed reports. Our reports contain a photo report and a forecast, as well as the filled out inspection report form. We like to be transparent and make sure that we keep good record of what the good things that you are doing, and also try to give you a good chance to work on the things that we believe you should be working on. So in addition to these stormwater inspection services, we also provide in-water monitoring. And so what we're doing is if a contractor is working in or near a water body, they likely are going to have to acquire specific permits that require them to monitor the water quality up and downstream of the construction project to make sure that you are not negatively impacting that waterway. Our inspectors go out there and they will provide the necessary testing that you need to comply with all of your permits. This is a great thing for our interns to do over summer. It's a very highly sought after position, and they go and they sample up and downstream for various parameters that are listed in the permit. Another common service that we provide is our training services. So Robin Tully, the president and founder of Tully Consulting Group, she is a trainer of record, so she can provide various stormwater management trainings that your site will need. From my understanding, there are going to be more trainings required for your site, so we are actually developing a classroom in our office, and we will be excited to be offering both online and in-person trainings coming to you soon. Contractors and project managers, they're usually pretty busy, sometimes running multi-million-dollar projects, and so their checklist is pretty large. The stormwater management checklists and to-dos are also pretty hefty. So what happens is that contractor usually likes to sub out that kind of work to companies like ours, and we help them comply with the permit, and we take off a huge load of things for that contractor to do. We are not the enforcer or the regulator. We are there purely to help our contractor comply with the general permit, which is a common misconception. Now I'll repeat that again. We are not an enforcer and we are not a regulator. We are here just to help you to make sure you do not get fined, but also because we want to help protect the environment and make sure our stormwater is clean when it gets into our water bodies. So we're here to help you. We want to develop really good business relationships with people and be very genuine and only give you what you need and avoid giving you what you don't, so you don't have to pay for unnecessary things. We want you to do exactly what you need to do, nothing more and nothing less. If you're interested in having Teleconsulting Group write you a SWIP, WPCP, provide stormwater inspection services and/or do in-water work, feel free to get in contact with our estimating department. You can contact them by calling 707-693-1926 or emailing estimating@telegroup.com. If you're interested in working for Teleconsulting Group, we have more information on our website at telegroup.com/careers, and you can apply online using our online application form at telegroup.com/apply. If you're interested in our internships, we're going to go ahead and link more information in the description box. You can also go to telegroup.com/internships. Our goals here at Teleconsulting Group are to be leaders in the stormwater management industry, to help preserve and protect the environment and keep stormwater clean, and also to help our contractors comply with the construction general permit and keep our clients happy. If you have any more questions, visit our website at telegroup.com. We also have a Facebook, Instagram, a LinkedIn, and a YouTube, and we're pumping out all kinds of great material out on there. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let us know.